Welcome back. You're still tuned into Trading Hour on CNBC-TV18. Now, let's talk about an interesting report now. Colliers has identified 17 Indian cities as the high-impact emerging real estate hotspots. In the latest report, they say that the emerging cities will play a key role in India's growth trajectory, and also adds that India is expected to have nearly 100 cities with a population of more than 1 million by 2050. Badal Yagnik, the CEO of this company, is joining us now to take a few questions on the report. Mr. Yagnik, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, it's an interesting report where you've mentioned 17 out of the 30 high potential cities in India. First, if you can name them and tell us what is making you so confident of them seeing that high growth trajectory. What are some of the factors that you're looking at?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show first. So, I think so. We did a complete immersion to this research, and as we talk about India getting to the third largest economy by 2030, today we see close to about 6 cities in India, which is the mega cities which have been taking most of the bulk. But we see primarily 4 factors which are driving our analysis. The first being the change in the workspace, the way the change of landscape of the work is happening, the infrastructure growth happening in various corridors of the country, tourism, and more specifically spiritual tourism, and increase in digitalization because of the penetration of the internet. So these are the factors. To name the cities, primarily they are all spread across the country. 4 in north being Amritsar, Ayodhya, Jaipur, Kanpur, Lucknow, Varanasi, and east Patna, Puri. West we are talking about Dwarka, Nagpur, Shirdi, and Surat. South Coimbatore, Kochi, Tirupati, Visakhapatnam, and in the center part Indore. So these are the 17 cities. Just to put a caveat to this, we are not saying these are the only cities which will be the emerging cities and growing. This we are saying will have a rather much accelerated growth to the other cities. And primarily we come from the fact that, we are seeing a very clear decentralized work environment, and the occupiers which we have been speaking to, most of them, are talking about these tier 2 cities. Just to give you a very classical case, 2 cases, Pune being one of them, which started about 10 years back, is a vibrant city. It was not a city for commercial real estate. Today, it's a thriving city among the top 6 cities in India. The other being Noida, which started in the early 2000s, and now it's again one of the vibrant cities competing the major cities across the country. So, the decentralized workforce, and what we've seen in our analysis, close to 15% of the tech talent is coming from these emerging cities. Of late, we've also seen a lot of these premier institutes like the IITs, IIMs, AIMS, NIFT, all these coming up in these emerging locations, which will aid to the talent dispersion and acceptance of those cities as emerging cities. And it's very important for us to have these emerging cities grow, as for a country which becomes the third largest economy, we need more than 6 cities which are vibrant. So 17 cities have been identified, but the sectors which are there are totally different for the real estate asset class in which they will develop. So some would be more on the office side, some will be the warehousing spaces, the others would be tourism, residential, senior living. So different factors for different cities.
Right. Mr. Yagnik, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining in. Actually, my question was somewhat related to Pune, since you mentioned that, since you've highlighted Coimbatore, Indore and Kochi, and amongst others who have emerged as locations having high potential in the satellite office market. Now, what gives you the confidence that these are the cities which have the potential for this satellite office market? You are alluding to Pune because now Pune also has a very thriving IT ecosystem. What gives you the confidence about these 3 cities?
So just to answer you first on Pune, Pune now is no more a satellite town, and that's the whole idea of the report. It's a vibrant, mega city, the way we call it, and it no more forms part of the satellite town. It's close to about 80 million square feet of commercial real estate, state, and a thriving, industrial as well as a residential market. But, Coimbatore and Kochi primarily, both these cities are on the radar of most of the corporates. They have quality real estate. And both of them have seen traction of grade A occupiers occupying space in these cities. Indore still is a distance from there, but Indore forms a very interesting hub for the logistics space because it is very central to any locations in India.
Okay, all right. You've also, as you mentioned earlier, categorized these cities into different baskets. What would work for these cities? I wanted to understand, and something that we have spoken about in the last couple of months is spiritual tourism, and that is something that is leading to higher travel, definitely, but definitely leads to development as well. What are some of the potential names here, and if there's something out of the list as well that you've shared with us that could benefit, and what kind of benefits that we'll see there?
I think so. That's a very interesting question. And, spiritual tourism for the domestic tourism forms the largest part of tourism. It is way and above of 50% of our, tourism industry. If you look at it, it was close to about a 44 billion kind of a market, the spiritual tourism way back in 2020, which is now increased to about 60 billion. And we see that this will keep on increasing by close to about 9 to 10% every year. So classical case here is Ayodhya. And we have seen a lot of hype which has happened on Ayodhya, infra upgrade which has happened, roads leading to that, airports, trains, good connectivity. And the outcome has been that most of the large, commercial as well as residential occupiers, developers have taken space there. We are talking about 1,800 keys, which will be delivered in Ayodhya by 2027. Land prices have shot up by close to 170% in the past 2 years. So this is one example of a city which was provided the impetus grew. So we are definitely seeing cities like Amritsar, Ayodhya, Dwarka, Puri, Shirdi, Tirupati. To give you an example, Tirupati, Amritsar, Shirdi, these attract close to about 30 million plus footfalls every year. And once you go to the other ones, they are in the early teens. So this definitely with the country growing, with disposable income coming, this definitely will have a lot of impetus provided we have these kinds of infrastructure and connectivity issues solved for these, spiritual tourism destinations.
All right, Mr. Yagnik, thanks a lot for sparing time and joining in to share your views on these emerging real estate hotspots there. Badal Yagnik of Colliers India on